How are you, folks? Dave Brown here with the New Populist. Thank you again for joining me. It is November 6th, Wednesday, the day after the election, and as you can tell, based on my attire, I'm in a pretty good mood. Very happy that Donald Trump won. And as people have pointed out, if he had lost, based off of immigration and demographics, it is very likely that we would have a one-party system where Republicans are never competitive at the national level, and it would just be Democrats who win presidential elections. So for that reason, this election was very important. We've pushed that off, and hopefully we can do things to prevent that from happening, because it's not over. We got a lot of work left to do. So in this video, I want to break down this election and go through some of the more important things I think happened. And the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that Trump actually won, because a lot of people are obviously surprised by that, mainly on the left, but even on the right. But if you look at the numbers, it was always there. And I put out a video a couple weeks ago saying that he was in a dominant position. The polling in 2016 versus the polling in 2020 versus the polling in 2024, Trump was running much stronger in 2024 than he was in either of the previous two elections. And of course, he won in 2016. And then you look at 2020. You had Antifa riots, Black Lives Matter riots, the pandemic, changing the voting system. You had complete chaos. And despite all that, Biden only won by less than 100,000 votes over 3 states. So you take all that away, you add in a bad economy, high inflation, 2 wars going on. It's right there for the challenger to win, because the incumbent always does bad when the economy is in a bad place and when most American thinks the country is heading in the wrong direction. So looking at the fundamentals, a Trump victory was always there. But of course, we're nervous when it comes to election because of how, what Democrats do. Some of those late night ballot drops, right, back in 2020. A lot of people were worried that no matter what we did, something similar might happen in 2024. So for that reason, people were pessimistic. But putting that aside, based off of the fundamentals again, it was always very likely that Trump would actually win this election, and thankfully he did. And when it comes to the issue of stealing elections, election fraud, one important change was the RNC. Back in 2020, the head of the RNC was Ronna McDaniel, who of course is the niece of Mitt Romney. And of course, Mitt Romney hates Donald Trump's guts. So we got her out of there, and we had Michael Whatley take over the RNC this year. And him and Laura Trump were on top of the issue of voter integrity or voting integrity. They had lawyers in every state watching or ready to attack issues that popped up, poll watchers. The RNC generally was in a much stronger position this cycle as far as monitoring election fraud or potential election fraud and it being proactive, unlike in 2020. So that was a huge change. And looking at 2020, Biden had over 80 million votes. This cycle, Harris had, almost 15 million less. A lot of people are very suspicious about that drop in votes. 15 million. Where did they go? Were they ever really there? And I have my opinions on that. You can guess where I'm going. But I will leave it for other people to dig into that data and potentially find some incriminating things there. Because, again, that 15 million drop, very, very suspicious. I also think this election cycle, Twitter or X and Elon Musk played a huge role. When Elon Musk originally bought X back in, a couple years ago, people were happy, but there are a lot of people on the right who were attacking him, thinking that or saying that he wasn't doing enough for free speech. And I think they were being kind of harsh on Elon Musk because with his visibility what he does. He is combating a lot of forces out there. He has people in the U.S. government who want to take him down. He has people in the EU who want to take him down, in Brazil. There's a lot of knives pointing at him. So he had to be very tactical in how he went about things. And he had the Twitter files. He released information that was very helpful to prove that the government was colluding with Twitter to suppress certain things. So that was great. And, so what he did with X was very important. He did allow free speech. Has there been accounts that were banned? Yes. But in totality, what he did was very good. And we know it was very good because right now he's being attacked relentlessly right now by the left. A lot of people on the left really hate his guts now. I think it was Joey Behar today on The View saying that Elon Musk was allowing misinformation. And of course, anybody who says misinformation is a person who themselves spreads misinformation, and they're a mini totalitarian. So him being attacked means he's doing the right thing, and we owe a debt of gratitude for Musk for buying Twitter, spending that money, and more than the money part, it's sticking out your neck when he knows, as he said, that if Trump had lost, the DOJ would have been coming after him. So he had a lot to lose, but he did the right thing, and he supported Trump, and he's a supporter of free speech. So a lot of gratitude to Elon Musk for doing all that. Now, one thing I've heard too is that the MSN, the mainstream media, is dead. There is a poll saying that only 35% of people trust the mainstream media, and I think that's 35 points too high. But is the mainstream media dead? I think the answer to that question is no. They still, unfortunately, have a lot of influence, which is why these companies, these media companies, which are owned by larger companies, multinational corporations like Comcast, Sony, and other massive companies, the reason they own them is because they still are useful, even if a lot of people are distrustful. So it wasn't the mainstream media that lost this election. It was Kamala Harris. They did everything they could to drag her along, and back in July, she got those bump in the polls, which of course we can question as being fake, but they did really drag her along. She still got 67 million votes. She did better than I would have liked her to have done. We won in Pennsylvania and Michigan and in Wisconsin, but by relatively small margin. So the mainstream media is not dead. They still have a purpose, which of course is to lie and spread disinformation on behalf of the establishment. But it is good that people are really hyper aware now of their lies. And this last week before the election, they were on a absolute tear in lying and spreading disinformation. Of course, the accusing Trump of being the one who attacked Puerto Ricans and the firing squad with Liz Cheney. I mean, one massive lie after another. And they told them shamelessly. And they're still telling them. And unfortunately, there are still a lot of people out there who believe them. We know who they are. Go find a liberal friend, and they'll repeat some of these same things. So the mainstream media is not dead, but they are on their heels. And hopefully, this next 4 years, with Trump, Vivek, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, his whole team, hopefully we take this momentum and really build off of what we have here. Go after the media. Go after the intel state and some of these clowns like John Brennan and who's the FBI director, Comey. Obviously fire Chris Wray. We have a lot of work to do, a lot of things that we need to get done to build off this victory here. Because as people point out, winning is just a start. You win, that's great. You have a good time for a couple of days. You celebrate. But now we have to get to work. And right now in D.C., they're plotting. They're scheming. They're looking to do anything they can to kneecap Donald Trump, to prevent him from getting any of his agenda done. And that's why, again, we, the people, have to really be there to support Trump and his team and push it forward. Because, again, the deep state, they're entrenched. They got all their little booby traps, and they'll be working double time this term to push back against Trump. Although I don't think they have as much momentum as they had in 2016. As you know, because in 2016 they had Russiagate and they had a naive Trump, and now Trump, smarter, older, wiser, and he won the electoral votes and he won the popular vote. He has a mandate, so we got to ride this momentum and really drive our agenda home and take back this country. And hopefully that's what we do over the next 4 years. So that is it for now. If you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon.